We had this grand dream of a place of community connection.
Church on the Square came about when Bishop Sutton and Bishop Hertz Lane from the Lutheran Synod were sitting at a meeting one day, and the Lutheran bishop said, I've got a building, do you have a mission developer that we could put in there to start an alternative worshiping community?
This is not two congregations, but one congregation together with a foot in each church body or each denomination.
What we're trying to do is build something that really grows out of what the need is in Southeast Baltimore. It's listening, it's being radical in how we listen, and trying to respond.
Our tagline is church as the heart of community. And so instead of planting a church in a neighborhood, we're actually trying to be a hub of community activity where a church worships alongside of that.
We're in an area of Baltimore, Maryland called Canton. It's a historic area of Baltimore. This church building has been here for a very long time. It had been a Lutheran congregation for many, many years that was experiencing significant decline.
The Lutheran congregation had gotten down to 12 people, and so it was time for us to rethink, how are we going to do church here?
Messiah Lutheran Church came to the conclusion that the best route for their future would be to gift this building, in one sense, to a new mission start. We were very excited to be able to do that with our Episcopalian partners. There's lots and lots of reasons for that to happen, not the least of which is Call to Common Mission that's several years old at this point. We also don't need a Lutheran congregation on one corner and an Episcopal congregation on another corner. So it made sense to pool our resources to create something new and vibrant that could connect with the neighborhood.
It's important to note that it's the governance that is joint, and the people that are coming here aren't necessarily Lutheran or Episcopalian. When I asked the bishops what they want this to be, a Lutheran church or an Episcopal church or both, they actually said neither, because they wanted it to be this post-denominational identity, which I think is representative of people in my age range and lower.
In our worshiping community on Saturday afternoons, we have agnostics and Lutherans and Episcopalians and folks raised in the non-denominational church. They're there because Church on the Square is this community that they've been welcomed into.
We say that we're post-denominational. I think that we're really multi-denominational, because I want people to feel comfortable being themselves. I just talked to a woman who has Nazarene grandparent was a pastor. I was like, that's fantastic. I'm an Episcopalian, I always will be. I'm not gonna try to be a Nazarene pastor, but what I can do is I can listen to what you value in that tradition, and I can try to create at least a kernel of that kind of energy within the family that we're creating here.
We started by just being present in the neighborhood and talking to people and business owners and hanging out with people in restaurants and bars and in the parks to see where they're at and talk to them about our dream for this space.
And we, I think, learned something different than you might learn from just the demographic study that you'd find online. I think we found the human perspective.
As we've done that, things have just shown up. And it's really been us just saying yes, as people come to us and say, I'm looking for a place where we can do community theater, or I'm looking for a place where I can host teachers. They come to us. Like, really, we haven't gone looking, and the ones we did go looking for, they didn't work. Even if you're not a quote-unquote worshiping member of our community, you still can feel ownership of that place and of that community space.
There are a lot of people who are put off by this. This is a very hierarchical setting. Just the architecture says that.
While it's in some ways very traditional worship, we hear the word, we have sacraments, we pray together. The music is different, the way we sit together is different.
One of the first things that Jim and his team did was take out all the pews and get chairs, and so that they could put them in a way that emphasizes community better.
It includes and invites people who may or may not have any experience of church, or people who have felt burned by the church.
That's what every congregation is being told when they ask, how can we grow again? We're dying. Become an integral part of the community. Become an indispensable community asset.
You can show up and worship when you're doing yoga with your neighbors, or when you show up to a community potluck. That may be the only time you darken our door, but you start to realize that this place is a place where people care about me.
God will peek through the edges of all sorts of different human accomplishments. And if we can't notice what's already happening and come alongside it and give it energy, sometimes just name it and bless it, then we have misunderstood how church works.